What should buyers look for in the title report before closing?
Do you want to take that?
This is all you, my man. Yeah.
Yes. Being a closing agent, that we run the title commitments here in Florida. What the title commitments do is they will show a list of requirements that need to be cleared in order for us to give clean title or clear title on a property. When the question says, what do buyers need to be concerned about? On one hand, I just want to be clear that when a buyer or someone is choosing us as the closing agent, they don't need to be worried about anything because it's our job to make sure that the buyer is getting clear title. So they can rest easy knowing that and being rest assured that we are going to give the buyer clear title. But the concept of the question is, what are some things really that that show up and are likely to show up? The most common thing to show up on a title commitment is a mortgage. So sellers often have mortgages that are still outstanding. So maybe they own the property for 20 years and maybe they had a $500,000 mortgage and now there's a $250,000 balance still outstanding. We will order a payoff on that. We will collect the money from the seller, from the proceeds of the transaction, and we will pay off that mortgage so that that mortgage is cleared at the time of closing. There are other things that occur, such as liens. They can be municipal liens that from maybe code violations that turned into fines that then turned into liens. There's other types of liens as well, such as, sometimes people put they'll put solar panels on their roofs, and there's something called a PACE lien. There's many different types of liens. Another common thing that we see are notices of commencement that are still outstanding. What that is when the seller has hired a contractor for anything. Maybe they put in a new screen porch or a new fence or a roof, and a contractor that could be a year ago or 4 years ago, the contractor did the work, and then contractors rarely, if ever, close those out. It's very annoying from a title closing agent perspective.
So annoying.
And from a realtor. You do a lot of listings. So from a listing agent perspective, very annoying.
Chasing these contractors down is just painful sometimes. So,
yeah. So it's our job as the closing agent to go and chase down these contractors from 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and to get them to sign the necessary documentation, including an affidavit that there's no amounts due and owing to them. And then we're able to clear out that notice of commencement. The bottom line here is that it is our job as the closing agent, which in Florida is typically either a title company or a law firm like we are, to handle the closing. It's the job of the closing agent to clear those title issues out so that the buyer is getting clear title.
Yeah, I think that's well said. We rely as realtors on the title company to tell us what is up.
Yeah.
And then we go ahead and address these things on the listing side, if that's what we need to do with the seller. So myself, you guys, and the seller, we're working together to make sure everything gets cleared out. Otherwise, there's exceptions or you can't issue title, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Especially if there's a lender involved.
Title insurance.
Right.
Yep.
So a lender is going to get a lender's policy, and let's say there's some notice of commencement we can't clear for some reason, like there was a contractor that put in a fence for $15,000 and maybe they went out of business and that becomes a problem. We can find ways around it most of the time, but I'm just giving one example. Let's say that's outstanding. A lender isn't going to allow us to close until that's closed out, so we're going to have to find a way to get that done. So that's one example. Technically, if a buyer's paying cash for a property, they could take an exception on their policy. Most buyers don't want to have any sort of cloud on a property, nor would I, but we can always give them that option and show them what is outstanding. 99.9% of the time, we're able to clear most everything out.
Yep.
And if we're not, then we're going to be very upfront with the sellers and buyers and say, here's the issue, the major issue that's at hand here.
And then we're brought in like, hey, can we negotiate a solution here?
Absolutely.
Right? Whether it's figure out a way to get that closed, or hey, we need another 60 days to do that, hold it in
sometimes
escrow.
Time helps,
Yep.
yes, to solve those issues.
Whatever it may be. Yeah.
And sometimes we will close on a property and hold money in escrow to, let's say, clear out some sort of code violation or open expired permits, something like that's with the city, and we can hold back money from the seller, and the seller can clear those out post-closing, and we can clear that off of title because we've held back the necessary amount of money in case we're unable to clear it, and that way the deal can close on time, and we'll hold escrow, and the parties are happy. Maybe there's a little bit of legwork that the seller needs to do after closing, but these types of things, most everything can be resolved.